If you like this episode, please subscribe, share with others, rate and review so we can continue to bring you great programming.
This is The Thing About Cars, a podcast for car enthusiasts and the people who love them.
Hello, welcome to The Thing About Cars. We have a full table today. In no particular order. Dave, how are you?
Surprisingly mellow today.
Mellow's good. Mellow's very good. Tim, sir, what's going on?
Maxing and relaxing with the view of Lake Fontana in North Carolina.
Ooh. Oh,
nice.
Sweet. Yeah. Ben. I saw Ben yesterday.
And I'm still doing well. How about you?
I'm doing well. Ben helped me do a little maintenance on my computer. We cleaned out some of the dust and upgraded the cooling mechanism to see if that helped. Nothing was really wrong with it. It sort of modified my computer the same way I would modify a car, basically. But Ben helped with that. It was fun. Misty, what's going on with you?
I'm living in the Monty Python skit where the bells apparently. So I don't know why are there bells? Besides the fact that I live between a Catholic church and a Protestant church, and they're gonna apparently have. Apparently, I'm like, can you do that on some other street? Not mine, please. That'd be great. Thanks.
And we're off.
You don't like bells, Misty?
Not at this level of intensity.
It's the intensity.
Yeah,
you like what's that? Who did the soundtrack for The Exorcist, Mystical Bells, or something like that?
Oldenfield.
Yeah, Oldenfield.
Oh, Tubular Bells.
Tubular Bells. That's it.
That's it.
So today,
you might get
yeah, go ahead, Ben.
If you want to get a rise out of one of those solo acoustic guitar guys who performs in bars and restaurants, if he asks for requests, tell him Tubular Bells.
That's just that. How many Geneva Conventions does that actually break? Or as my son calls them, they're just Geneva suggestions.
Yeah, I know. No kidding. It's sad, isn't it, man? Today, I thought we could do a little grinding of gears. I had a few things land on my page that just grinded my gears. For instance, the Wheeler Dealer page on Facebook has been overrun. It has been commandeered by assholes, and they're putting up essentially porn on the page, and Wheeler Dealers has been unable to work with Facebook to reclaim their page, which just sounds stupid to me. If you run the organization, and the organization meaning Facebook, you should be able to restrict access to something that has been pirated away from someone else. It just grinds my gears that Facebook is so obtuse about helping Wheeler Dealers get control of their wildly popular page, and that's the first thing that grinds my gears today. So
I've seen that so many times, and it's not just with. I mean, it's with artist's page. It's Tim throwing the time out.
Yeah,
incorrectly.
That's right. Flag on the field. That's right. Flag on the field. Tim, trivia, please.
Okay, this is a fairly straightforward one. According to Car and Driver, what 5-letter word specifically means a closed two-door car with less than 33 cubic feet of rear interior space? Is it A, a compact, B, a coupe, C, a subcompact, or D, a microcar? So 5-letter word meaning a closed two-door car with less than 33 cubic feet of rear interior space. Is it a compact, a coupe, a subcompact, or a microcar?
I hate to provide a spoiler, but only one of those has 5 letters.
We can't. We don't do math here on the thing about
right.
cars.
Yes, that's it. It could be 5 letters in other languages.
That's right. It could be 5 phonetic letters.
That's right. Yeah. And I had to take the basic level math in college 5 times to pass it. So
I have to wear open-toed shoes to count to 20. So I'm basically sitting here going 1, 2, 3, many much.
Yes. Can I have this many?
This many. It's this many today.
So that's what's grinding my gears. I have a number of things that have been grinding my gears. So I made a list. Do you guys have anything you wanted to pile on with? Can we just have a big gear grinding fest? Go for it, Misty.
Well, okay. So last Monday, I started out on my and this was the cool part of my first official solo road trip, because I was driving up to Denmark to Odense, which is on the island of Fyn. And in order to do that, of course, you have to go through Germany. And apparently German drivers don't just, yes, thank you. Apparently German drivers don't just park in the second lane and go 90 kilometers an hour in the Netherlands. They do that in Germany too. And I'm like, get out of my way. And it's just absolutely infuriating. And oh my God, the number of people driving caravans or towing caravans that are in the third lane, that is illegal. You stupid mouth. I'm going to stop right there. Because I mean, I am zipping along, and I will say I actually did get her up to 200 kilometers an hour, which was really awesome.
Yeah.
But then I'm sitting there and I'm like, stop it. Trucks are not supposed to be, in the second lane. Caravans are not supposed to be anywhere outside of the second lane. That's the furthest over you can go. And then I'm standing there and I'm just like, and these trucks just kind of like want to pass each other. It's like watching two snails have a race.
Oh yeah. So I'm
And it's-
surprised. I thought Europe was more highly regulated with that. I thought that America was the land of lack of lane discipline.
It's gotten worse, I will say, because let's see. I'm trying to think of how long I've had my driver's license here. Probably close to, let's see. So 7, 8, probably. Yeah, I mean, I've had my driver's license here over 10 years. It's definitely getting worse. And I'm just like, trust me, my Dutch is getting a workout, because I tend to road rage in Dutch. It's just much more satisfactory.
It's certainly much more guttural.
much more guttural.
Yeah, je hebt bij zo'n freaking dildo's gehaald. But yeah, I'm like, stop it, and it's only going to get worse. I'm kind of glad that I came home, because I came home Friday, and it was kind of the start of summer vacation. So it took me like an hour to get off Fyn, and then I got stuck in some bizarre police checkpoint right at the German border, where they were making the trucks go like on the highway, and then I was like, what? Stop it. So I'm like driving through this checkpoint trying not to make eye contact with the police, because we all know I'm suspicious. And I'm like, I just want to wind it out. I just want to cruise at 150, 160 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
And I don't need some, lederhosen wearing, currywurst eating retired granddad in his caravan that he's had the same caravan since 1976.
What's wrong with currywurst?
Or later.
Nothing.
No, it's just a descriptor of the person who is consuming it, typically.
And I'll bet he's wearing the same socks with sandals that he's worn since 1976 too.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Jawohl. Genau.
Dave, you got anything, Dave? Anything grinding your gears today?
Yeah, this is funny. Surprisingly, I don't. And because, which is really rare for me, because I was raised by the most irritable family in the entire world. My parents, my grandparents, my sisters, my brother. I have a nephew whose first words were, "What the hell's the matter with you?"
Nice.
How about it, Tim? Yep. Sorry.
Yeah.
Dave,
So I'm just riding along in your all's irritation today.
That's cool.
Glad we could share.
Yes. Well, let me preface this by saying that I'm, up here at the mountain home in Bryson City, North Carolina. I'm hanging out with my sister-in-law, who is an automotive service writer, and I love to hear her war stories from the trenches. And a couple things, and it all kind of dovetails into, hey, you buying your big expensive car with all the bells and whistles. When you pay for something that's very expensive, your repairs are going to be very expensive. The more complicated your vehicle is, the more things that there are to break. A lot of things that our cars have to have now are thanks to our government, whether it be the EPA or NHTSA, giving us more and more crash survivability or crash avoidance technology. And this leads to your stuff being more expensive and complicated to diagnose and repair. Couple things. Stories of someone going to a local auto parts store because they had a bad battery. And the auto parts store then replaced, and this is in a hybrid, so it's the two batteries that still run the basics of the the vehicle, not the main hybrid battery. So you have to replace those in pairs often, or often have to replace them in pairs. And when they installed the batteries, they did not properly torque down the nuts on the terminals, so they had a poor electrical connection. And when you have a poor electrical connection, your voltage goes up and down. It seems intermittent to the car systems, and it gets all kinds of spurious data based on that because everything is digital. So they take it to the dealership, and they have to do a $500 diagnostic to track down that, well, your lackey at the auto parts store, who is not a trained automotive professional. This is someone who graduated from high school typically and got a job at the auto parts store and knows which way to turn the knob on the ratchet to make it tighten versus loosen, is the one who did your, air quotes, repair. And you get what you pay for. For those of you who don't understand, most people deserve a decent wage based on the skills that they have and the schooling they've gone through. Those people with who've gone to proper automotive maintenance schools, they have invested time and money, and they get paid a better wage, get paid more per hour, and that's why your dealership rate is a lot higher than it is at your local grease monkey garage or auto parts store. And if you have a big, expensive, complicated car, you're going to have big, expensive, complicated repair bills to get it done right.
So you're saying people shouldn't complain?
I'm saying that you maybe should, when you consider buying a car, look at the reputation of the manufacturer, and would you really trust someone who has not made anything in that price range before, and now is making something super complicated? Do you want to go with them, or do you want to go with a trusted name? And when you go try to investigate what might be wrong with your car on the forums, where everything is a case study, Bobby Joe over on the West Coast had this fault code pop up on his computer, on his car's computer, and he said, "Well, all I had to do was, it was an evaporative control failure, and so all I had to do was replace my evaporative canister." Well, yes, that's one of the 8 different parts of your evaporative emissions control system, not to mention all the lines that connect all these parts together. And when you go then yell at the dealer because, well, Bobby Joe had this same thing and he had to replace the $50 canister, but you say I've got this $400 control module that's bad. Well, yeah, that might be the actual fault, because there's a lot more to diagnosing a vehicle than just looking up a fault code. The fault code doesn't say it's exactly this part that's the problem. There's often a tree of factors that go in. And yes, like I said, we have a disposable society in certain ways, where a lot of things are made to be made and not necessarily made to be easily worked on. And the more stuff you throw into the same box that is your car, the more complicated things are to get to and to service and diagnose.
So to answer your question, Mickey, he is not saying we shouldn't complain, which is a good thing, because that would really undermine the whole premise of this week's episode.
That's exactly right.
Well, it's like my granddaddy always said, buying the car is just half of it,
Right.
And
That's right.
it's the same thing, it's and please, no comments from animal rights activists. It's like, a car, a pet, kids, just the initial expense of purchasing or bringing, this whatever into existence. That is only half of it, and I think a lot of people, I would say majority of people don't factor in the maintenance costs and tire costs. And
I hate putting new tires
and
on
all
the
that
kids.
applies even if you
Yeah.
lease the vehicle. If you lease the vehicle, you're still responsible for all that stuff. And if you have deferred maintenance that's not been done when you turn in your car, and the tires are worn down to the tread wear indicators, yes, they're going to charge you for a new set of tires, and
that you will never get to enjoy.
Right, exactly.
You were stupid.
Right.
Sometimes your life is hard because you're stupid and make bad choices.
Life
Ben,
is tough. Being
I
stupid
bet-
makes it tougher. Yes.
I bet I know what's grinding Ben's gears.
Do you?
Well, you sent us this thing, which actually kicked off the entire idea for this particular episode, which is a Vox article called "Driving at Ridiculous Speed Should Be Physically Impossible."
Oh yeah, well I haven't thought about it lately, but yeah, let me see if I can remember much about that.
Well, draw this out while you're thinking of it, because it gives Misty an opportunity to really torque up.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, the article made a good case for putting speed limiting technology in cars.
Yeah,
And I had
a
some
lot of them
knee-jerk
have
reactions.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times your car's top speed is governed by what tires the manufacturer puts on it from the factory.
No,
People
but
want to
this is a
drive
little.
fast.
This is more close to operating speed we're talking about here.
Right,
And Japan have had this for decades. They actually have a legal mandate that cars can't go above a certain speed, and that as you approach it, they'll give you audible and visual warnings.
Just see that Misty space.
Yeah.
Hey, Mickey, you might want to adjust the sound mixer a little bit. That high pitched noise from Misty's jaw clenching is bleeding through.
But no, on U.S. roads, I mean, people have been driving ridiculously fast the last few years.
But have they been driving plaid?
You'd have to ask the individual drivers about that, but yeah, and I think it probably got a boost during the pandemic times when there was no law enforcement on the road and half as many motorists, and everybody just drove 100 miles an hour everywhere.
We just lost Dave, by the way.
I mean, not physically; he's still on the call. Just mentally, he's
like driving
Checked out.
plaid. I don't think Dave understands the reference.
as opposed to going pinstripe.
Yeah.
Or Tartan. I'll drive Tartan all the time.
Have none of you watched Spaceballs? The hell's
Oh,
wrong?
Yes,
What the hell's wrong with you people?
It's been a while.
Like
Did you-
35 years.
Yes.
I'm not even going to ask
Now
who
we've
Schwartz
lost
is
Misty.
bigger here. I'm not even going to ask who here has the biggest Schwartz.
Biggest Schwartz. No.
Oh, Misty with the Uber Schwartz. That's
But,
the fetish one.
Apparently.
uh,
And you should see the hairnet on it.
Don't ask about my Nair bill.
Oh. Oh man. Okay. So here's the thing. It grinds Ben's gears. It grinds my gears. I mean, if we limit everything, if we try to make everything too safe, that's just one step towards the dystopian world of the Red Barchetta.
on the
And
other
I don't want to be in a 3 shells world, okay?
Yeah,
Right.
no 3 shells.
On the other hand, fast driving is causing problems. It's worse collisions and all that kind of stuff. The bad apples are ruining it for the rest of us, basically. But the bad apples are multiplying.
Yeah.
So what's a life saved worth?
Right. Well.
Okay.
Now, part of that you can just you could take the South Georgia approach and say you regulate speed not by regulating cars, but just making sure the quality of roads is so bad that
Right.
you can't drive on them. That's
But if I
Well,
have the
fair
ability
point.
to go out and buy my very fast Maserati, why would I not take it out and wind it out every once in a while? Why would I limit myself?
Well, you're a smart enough guy that you'll do that under the safest conditions you can find. You don't want to hurt anybody, but a lot of these folks just don't give a damn.
Right. But I mean, yeah. There's those who want to take it to a racetrack and live at their own risk level. And yeah, you're right. People who go 120 miles an hour past you on your local freeway are a danger to themselves and others, especially others. We could care less whether or not they die, but
And if you want to relate that to actual street racing in my county, that's been a huge issue the last couple of years, and they've been having a lot of trouble, because these guys do their thing and disperse, before the cops can show up. There's an industrial park near me, close enough that I can hear them at night when they do it there. Oh yeah.
And the more nanny, again, going back to what my point was, the more nanny devices that you add to a vehicle, the worse. The more problems you can get from those nanny devices. Case in point,
Sure.
My sister-in-law had someone who came in with their BMW, had it towed in because they were driving along and a bug splatted onto the TV lens that the collision avoidance system uses
Oh, yeah.
and completely obscured it. So it determined that it was on somebody else's bumper and slammed on the brakes and took it all the way to a dead stop.
Hold on just a second, guys. I hate to do this. I'll be right back.
Sure.
We'll continue. Yes, we'll.
Is that?
Who knows what happened to Misty?
Yes.
Her hash browns.
While we pause here and look at Misty's alter ego.
She looks so beatific in that picture.
Yes.
I wonder if anesthetics were involved.
That's a good question.
Yes. We got dead air over Misty's picture. We're like,
and this is
Mickey, do we have cool on hold music or the old technical difficulties sign that used to
look at me? I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree, just hanging to a cloud. I just don't understand. I get misty holding your hand. You know how some people have a singing voice that can shatter a crystal glass? I've actually taken out an aluminum tumbler.
That's saying something, Dave. That's yeah.
Mine just shatters eardrums.
I need to learn more songs. I can only sing Judas Priest tunes.
That's really got to put a damper on karaoke night for you.
Oh yeah. Plus, it's not very romantic. Oh, here she is.
Yeah, thanks. Heard that.
Yeah.
Sorry
Return
about
of
that.
the Waltz.
Yes. I really need to change that name. That is not my name anymore. But so
yes.
sorry
So
about
where were
that.
we? That's right.
Well, about the whole
you lost
nanny
me at
state
the
thing.
3-shell method.
Dude, you and I are gonna have movie night apparently. But no, what? So, like in Formula One, when you go into the pit lane, you have a speed limiter that automatically just takes your car, and it's automatic. It's not built into the car. I mean, it's okay.
It's part of the technology.
Yeah, it's part of technology, and I'm for that in certain areas like school zones.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm because frankly, I'm just gonna need somebody to take care of me when I get older. So let's save the kids. But beyond that, not a fan.
Right. Of course, and mandated pedestrian avoidance technology is coming to your cars extremely soon again because of government mandates. So again, more systems to go wrong. But Misty, that doing it in a school zone, that is a cool idea. We're going let's be safe. Where you hate to put a kids in their school zone area are not nearly as valuable as the ones that are out on the highway. But
but I mean, I just and I think this also kind of feeds into my rant about all of these safety things and driver assistance things and why automatic transmissions should be banned under the Geneva Conventions.
No, it's in backwards.
Yeah.
No, it looks right here.
Yeah, I agree. Real cars don't shift themselves. And I think that this parking assist and all of this stuff, I think it has made a generation of increasingly distracted drivers. They say, "Oh, these are all safety measures. These are all safety measures." I don't think they are safety measures.
Are we all going to wave every time he shows up?
Yes.
It's a polite thing to do,
Yeah. But I mean, I honestly think that, I think people are just like, if I get too close to this other car, my car automatically brakes. So then you lose the ability to judge traffic and you stop looking 2 to 3 to 4 cars ahead. I mean, that's,
So in a perfect society, we don't protect anybody, but we make sure they can only drive the speed limit. Is that what we're saying, Ben?
I don't know about that, but what occurred to me here is that what it all really boils down to is poor quality drivers. And
Yes.
I'm not talking about the same vein as everything Misty was just saying, is that we are poorly trained to begin with. There are not that many countries I can speak with about this to, at least not recently, but I am fairly confident that the United States is among, modern, Western, developed, industrialized, whatever you want to call it, leading countries. We have far and away the worst trained drivers of any of them. the minimal, jokingly, achingly, insultingly, disgustingly minimal standards we have for getting a driver license here. It's
so
shameful.
that's what grinds your gears. Like, now we get to
Ultimately,
the heart.
yes.
It all comes down to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I also think, because having got my driver's license in the U.S. and then having also had to do the whole rigmarole in the Netherlands, even though I've been driving since I was 13, I was really glad that I was forced. I mean, I was required. I don't want to say forced, but I was required to take driving lessons here because the traffic flows so much different here. And those driving lessons are no joke. And when you end up having to pay close to 2,000 euros for your driver's license, it kind of makes you want to pay attention. So you're not just throwing away your money. I mean, even a motorcycle license here, is 1,000 euros.
So here's where the conversation derails into some element of politics that we should probably put the brakes on. But
right.
But it's like, if you start making driving expensive in this country, then then if you start making driving expensive, then it feeds an ongoing class war problem that we've got, and you can't restrict more people from driving.
Yeah, there's that too.
It's easier to get by in Europe without a car than it is here.
True.
That's also it.
Far and away.
Yeah. Yeah, and some of that has to do with this American attitude towards public transportation. I remember way back when I was still in the U.S. and I was living in Alpharetta, and it was actually possible for me to just walk outside of the apartment complex, take the bus, and go to work. And my mother was horrified because that's what poor people do.
Yeah.
And here I'm like, well, I want to go into this work thing. We're having
anywhere else in the world, it's a cosmopolitan thing to do. It's just
you sit down and you're with the vice president of your company, and the janitor.
Right. Yeah, and for me, it's more like, hey, I've got this work thing, and it being Europe, there's going to be alcohol, so I'll just all right, just clutch those pearls, Dave, honey, and and you do it so well.
Alcohol in Europe. I've been on an U-Bahn train in Munich with a bunch of very drunken, rowdy football fans.
Mm-hmm. But like
that sounds like fun.
That is amazingly fun. But it's like here. I mean, I just walk out.
Was there sex involved?
No, and thank goodness, because these guys were not very attractive.
It happens.
Right.
Even the homely need love, man.
Yes, I know. I'm trying not to be a snob. I didn't mean it that way. I'm not into guys either, so
So what else grinds my gears is, and this is also based on another article that I can no longer find, but it's, why do I need a check engine light in my car? If everything is getting put up on a display somewhere, and if touch screens still stick around, or even if we just have flat screen technology in cars that are readouts and not touchable, why can't they just tell me what the freaking code is instead of requiring me to go to a shop and figuring out what's wrong with my car? Why can't my car just say, hey, you need an O2 sensor, go drive to the shop, or you haven't changed your oil in 50,000 miles?
That's because we can't charge you a service charge.
Thank you.
Can't charge you a service visit if you can read the code yourself.
Right. Now, for all you computer programmers and hackers out there, that would be a great thing to offer people as a great upgrade that you can put onto people's ECUs, of going like, hey, for $100, I'll install this update to your software that'll show on your touch screen of exactly what that code means. That
I can also go down to AutoZone and have that high school educated kid plug in a thing and tell me the code for free.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But I just paid X number of thousands of dollars for a car. I wish this were true. I'm still driving the old Honda POS, but
of course you are.
when
okay, I've got something that grinds my gears.
Hallelujah! Praise the Lord.
Yeah. Please, either Mickey or Tim can figure out how to upgrade their current vehicle. to something they can both enjoy and afford.
This is, I mean, you've become the Susan Lucci of the thing about cars. You not getting a car is a more consistent character on the show than anything else.
Well, I thought it was that we were so often nominated to go get that new car, but never actually.
Yeah, so okay, I'm finally ready to do it. I'm not buying this anymore. So it's like you keep leading me on. You lead me right up to the end and drop me.
I'm sorry, Dave. I won't mention it anymore.
No, it's fine. I'm totally resolved to this codependent relationship with your car.
Well, and I honestly think that this is going to end up being an intervention, which, where like I make all the appointments, and then Dave and Tim and Ben just physically take you and your car keys and say, you are trading your car in today.
This is an intervention. Yes.
I can see this working as our first television episode.
Ooh.
I can see this,
That'd
right?
be fun.
I got the vision in my mind. We do the
we
intervention.
arranged to have your car stolen.
Right.
Yeah.
But we all show up and we're all wearing GoPros on our foreheads.
That's right.
And somebody needs to have me, like via FaceTime or Google or whatever, like strapped to an iPad on their chest,
Oh, right,
so I can
yes.
see what's going on too.
If you're going to strap an iPad to your chest, does that mean I can read the codes without having to get an OBD reader?
Depends on which way that camera's facing.
Right.
Forward or away. That's it.
I've got a couple other things on my gear grinding list. You guys got anything else before I cross these things off?
Oh no, please.
I've had my time with catharsis. I'm feeling pretty good now.
I'm sure something will come up because I'm just, I'm middle aged. I'm full of rage. I've been the same height since I was 12 years old, which is 5'3.5". Thank you very much.
You can ask any guy. Every half inch counts.
Yeah. Do we really want to talk about women are notoriously bad at parallel parking?
Especially if it's that half inch is full of rage.
The angry inch.
So yeah. Oh, before we get off on a thing, let me actually see if this will work. Damn it, Bird. Because I was in Denmark, and this is actually kind of irritating me too, because I stopped at this like the Danish version of the Walmarts, and they had like a really nice Lego section, and the only bloody F1 car they had was the Mercedes AMG Petronas. So I got a Bird instead.
Cool.
Look at that.
That's
It's a Lego bird.
It's little Lego birds.
It's very nice.
It's very nice. So that was our little, island of tranquility in the moment of all of this rage.
They don't have like
Tweet.
Kevin Magnuson bobblehead dolls.
No, but I may have just actually received a shipment from Verstappen.com, which included another one of these shirts and the Max Verstappen Funko Pop. But it's not for me; it's for a friend of mine, and I'm not going to say who because there's a possibility that this episode will go out before their birthday, and I don't want to. Let's not ruin that.
Right.
Okay.
That grinds my gears. No, that doesn't grind my gears. Sorry.
Well, happy birthday, Misty's friend.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Mazel
Happy
tov.
birthday.
Right.
Yes. No pants allowed, by the way. That's our new
Not
law.
wearing
That's
them.
right. Nah, me neither. All right. You know what? The police.
That may have more relevance than you know. I will tell you in October.
Okay.
Oh, something special is happening in October. So
Maybe.
the other day I was driving back to my house from Macon. I go to Macon every once in a while for parts of my job, and saw something that I never thought I would see in this state. And that is police were in the express lane giving people tickets in the express lane. So on Interstate 675, as it leaves Atlanta, there's an express lane that stretches, I don't know how many miles, and it's an isolated lane, right? It's got concrete barriers on both sides. And in the mornings, they give you express lane access to go into the city. And in the evenings, they give you express lane access to get out of the city. So it's always not useful for me because I'm going opposite. And anyways, that also grinds my gears, but that's not why I'm here to talk about this today. This time I saw the southbound traffic getting nailed by police, many police, for driving fast in the express lane. And I'm like, that's just really crappy, right? You pay for extra access to the express lane. I'm not saying it should be like the Autobahn, but it's just, shooting fish in a barrel. People like to drive fast. People don't follow the speed limit on the actual roads, as we've already mentioned here.
Yeah.
In the program. But But why pick on the people in the express lane when it's a lot more controlled, I think, than the traffic that's outside of the express lane? I thought that was dirty pool.
And that makes me think of something that makes me kind of chuckle with a little bit of schadenfreude, maybe. We have these toll lanes on I-85 that go up, from downtown Atlanta up through Gwinnett. The far left lane is a, lane you pay a toll to use, and it's supposed to be faster because fewer people are going to be in it or something. But, the few times that I'm in dense traffic on 85, when I see that toll lane moving no faster than the rest of the highway, I just kind of
That's not fair. It's not fair.
Because I'm in the regular lanes. I'm not going to use a toll lane. So yeah, I just kind of chuckle at those folks.
I use the express lane of traffic.
Well, that lane you're always regulated down to the speed achieved by the nearest idiot. I mean,
yeah.
When someone who did not plan their exit maneuver from the lane, and now they're trying to merge over so they can get their exit, and they backed everything up. Yeah.
And as George Carlin will tell you, everybody driving slower than you is an idiot, and everybody driving faster than you is a maniac.
Right. Yes. But I paid for some access to this lane, right? It's like the cops are saying to me, "Sure, pay, come into this." And in some cases, it's double digits. It's like $10 to get in the express lane, depending on how bad traffic is, because they have this algorithm that says if traffic is truly borked, we're going to charge you a lot of money to be in this lane, and then they're going to give you another ticket. Yeah, exactly, kind of like Uber. So so here, pay $10 to be in this lane, and if you speed, we're still going to give you a $400 ticket, and that's just dirty pool.
Well, how much more speed do you think that should entitle a driver to?
I don't know. Some.
Well, I had this idea several years ago. I said, if I can figure out how to make this work, I will be the richest mofo on planet Earth. And that idea was put a big red button in the middle of the dashboard of a car that when you're stuck in really frustrating going nowhere traffic, all you have to do is whack that button and the car will levitate up off the road and autopilot itself and land itself right in your driveway very gently. And it would charge like $100 or $500 or whatever every time you hit it. I would become the richest guy on earth if I could make that work. Because
Possibly,
yes,
Americans would make themselves broke punching that button.
Possibly only second to the guy who invents the machine that allows you to punch people in the face through the internet.
That'd be a good one too. Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about Mickey, cars.
Yeah, yes. But back to your point, Mickey. It's a question of how much fast. So if you go in the paid express lane, you be able to drive your 1974 Ford Maverick at 115 miles an hour with its four-wheel drum brakes as you come flying around a corner to find that the traffic is stopped dead because the police officers because someone has broken down ahead of you and you can't stop in time. There
is that.
Well, I've also had this notion in my brain that police should not be ticketing people for speeding. I think there are better laws that need firmer enforcing.
Well, I think you should get an automatic hazard to society ticket just for driving a Ford. There we go.
Yeah. Well,
I had to work that in there.
Since you mention it, as I'm here with my sister-in-law, who's the automotive service writer, I'm also here with my brother, who is a police officer.
Yes.
And yeah, he says he typically does not write speeding tickets unless there are two things involved. Either it's egregious speeding, which just makes you a blatant hazard because you're going too fast to be able to stop, given the vision that's involved, or you're also doing something stupid. You're weaving through traffic and cutting people off.
If you really are a hazard to someone else, sure.
Yeah, because an important thing to remember is it's not just pure raw speed that kills. What it is it's the difference in speed between the two involved objects.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not the speed itself; it's the stopping.
Right. Yes. If everybody's going 80 miles,
that happens gradually or all in one moment.
Right.
Yeah. If everybody's going 80 miles an hour, you're not very safe going 60 miles an hour among them.
Right.
No.
And vice versa.
I learned something really interesting this past week because I was in Odense, which is in Denmark, and was talking with one of the people in that office, and they had gotten their driver's license in Norway. And what they have in Norway is basically before you during your driving lessons or whatever, they actually put you in a special vehicle and you experience a crash at like 7 kilometers an hour. And he was like, that was terrifying. And then to realize that it was only because you're like maybe like in a sledge or something, where it's a very controlled, very safe. But he was like, that was terrifying. And it was only 7 kilometers an hour. And I'm not doing the math for y'all people. That's against my religion. You had to figure that out yourself.
That's 5 miles an hour. You're looking at jogging speed.
Yeah. And he said, but then to sit and think about what that would be at, road speeds, highway speeds, he's like, it really had an impact on him and how he thought about driving. So maybe that's something.
And now contrast that with how I got licensed to ride motorcycles in the United States.
Which was 2 turns in the parking lot at the Walmart?
Not even, because here's the thing. I started riding them in Texas, and when I moved to Texas from Alabama, I turned in an Alabama license that was good for 2 or 4 wheels. Alabama did not have a separate motorcycle qualification at the time, so I moved to Texas. They say, well, do you want to keep since we have a separate motorcycle endorsement here under reciprocity, we're obligated to offer you the ability to keep it. I said, sure, why not? I might get one someday, and I did. And of course, then I moved to Georgia, and everything transferred. So I've been legal to ride motorcycles in 3 states, and I have never ever taken a state licensing exam to do so.
I'm legal to drive tractors in the Netherlands. I've never driven a tractor in my life.
Yeah.
But I think I want to try.
And you always say tractor, do you mean a semi or do you mean like a John Deere?
Farm, yeah.
I mean like a farm implement that can go on
public roads.
Okay. Yeah, on public roads.
Well, so here's another idea for our TV series then. Let's see if we can high side a farm tractor.
Yes.
Of course, I would like to point out, as the resident, voice of legal reason, we're recording our espionage and plans to commit crimes.
Yes,
right. Yeah.
As long as we do it on a closed circuit with professional driver,
right. The demonstration purposes only.
It's why I usually don't make plans for the day, because most of the time that's considered premeditation.
And give the big disclaimer, hey, don't do this at home, because that would make you a dumbass.
That's right.
Right.
Don't do this in public either.
Last thing, and then we'll wrap the episode with the trivia question. Another guy wrote an article, and he said something about clay-colored cars. It was basically like, what's the deal with all the clay-colored cars? And it just pissed me off that he didn't know how to say matte or flat or non-metallic. He didn't know what the word flake meant in this circumstance to apply that to any of these cars. What?
Oh, putty.
Putty.
I mean, that makes me wonder if he is in a relationship or dates people of the generally female persuasion, because matte foundation and matte fixing powder are a big deal.
Sure. Absolutely.
I don't come on these things with any shine.
Yeah. But now when he says clay colored, I mean, as speaking someone with a color vision deficiency, there are a lot of these new kind of light muted teal colors and other muted colors that do look kind of gray, but it's clear that there's some other color to them. And maybe that's what he's talking about.
I have to say though.
He's talking about cars without flake in the paint.
But I mean, I do have to say, when Mickey first said clay colored cars, I was like, why is dude dissing taupe? Because taupe is a valid color, especially if you're a Buckhead housewife.
We had this a few episodes ago, didn't we? We discussed this.
We may have, yeah.
Yeah,
we did.
And I think the thing was, like, Toyota has a lot of these colors. They've got them in a blue and a green and a orange red, I think, that I've seen. And it is kind of hard to describe that quality to them. They're not pastels. They're way too bold for that. But there's it's almost like a dusty quality or something, It is a little hard to describe.
It's called dilute.
On the flip side, have you seen that people have been buffing their Tesla trucks to a mirror finish?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that actually creates a huge, traffic hazard, because they're like, oh crap, that Jeep's coming at me. Oh crap, that Jeep's me.
Or sun glare reflection.
Yes. Right. Again, so many things can be taken care of when you're driving in traffic if you just have a paintball gun with you.
Yeah.
Speaking of crimes,
that's how you can mark a vehicle as being you're a danger to others just because of your polish. You're a danger to others because you're going too fast and driving like an idiot. And you just need to tag some of these on the road hazards.
I really appreciate that advice. That's a lot wiser than the T-shirt gun I've been using with cans of Spam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once again, Ben, please give the disclaimer of
Yeah.
Well, I should warn you, if you load Kansas Fan into a t-shirt gun, it raises a welt.
Yeah.
What if we take it out of the can?
Depends on how hard it hits.
Yeah.
Now I have that sound effect in my head. Oh God, Mickey, I hate you.
That's the thing about cars, my friends. We'll see you with another episode.
Yeah. No, well, actually, I was going to go up, and I was going to say, instead of the t-shirt cannon with spam, what would be better would be a confetti cannon with glitter.
Oh.
Glitter is the herpes of the crafting set.
Thank you. Exactly. I mean, so especially if the dude has an open
Your
window,
day right there, folks.
I mean, especially if the dude has an open window, and you're just like, and then he has to explain to his wife when he gets home where all this glitter came from, and she's not going to believe that he was being stupid. Well, I mean,
right. It
Kind
was
of trouble
she'll believe rather than being stupid at the strip club. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And then a little bit of glitter gets into the air conditioning intake system. So the next time you turn on the fan for the next 3 years, a little bit of glitter will come out the vents.
Oh my God! I am looking online. You can buy paintballs with glitter in them.
Yeah.
Yay.
Anarchy is going to reign after this episode.
Or at least glitter. Yes.
At least glitter. At least glitter. Yeah, that's
Tim, let's answer the trivia question.
Okay.
We forgot.
According to Car and Driver, what word of undetermined length typically means a closed two-door car with less than 33 cubic feet of rear interior space? Is it A, compact, B, a coupe or coupe, B, a subcompact, or D, a microcar? Misty, since you have the digit dyslexia, what is your best guess?
33 cubic meters. Isn't that a coupe?
Could be. Ben? What sayest thou?
I don't know the singular of that, but anyway, I say it's the coupe, and I'm saying that just for Beka if she's listening.
Gotcha, Dave.
David also has 5 letters in it, so I could add, that could be the spoiler word, but I shall go with the coupus, the singular of the coupe.
Sure. And Mickey?
I'm going with carriage.
The carriage.
That wasn't even one of the choices, was it?
Won't be a fancy marriage.
No.
Can I change my vote to sleigh?
You could.
Mickey, you and Misty, you both totally slay. Dave and Ben, keep working on it. But yes, it is the coupe, chicken coupe, super coupe.
Chicken coupe.
That is what it is.
That's awesome. So thanks, you guys. Thanks for bearing with me today as I got a few rants off my chest, and hopefully you feel better I don't know.
I'm kind of glad that we had this today because I didn't want to watch the end of this race anyway because Lando dive bomb Max.
I can't get in it. I haven't seen any of it. No spoilers, please.
No.
I would say just cut it off about lap 52 and you'll be happy.
Dankjewel.
Graag gedaan. Geen punt. Maakt niet uit.
Listeners, if something's grinding your gears, please tell us about it. You know how to get in contact with us. The thing about cars@gmail.com is probably the most reliable way. This is the last thing that grinds my gears is that our websites, mine websites, have been under attack recently. I've been getting security notifications that a certain number of lockouts will occur during a period of time. And in the last 2 weeks, that number has jumped by an order of power. It's kind of scary.
Well, this is actually coinciding with the
the automotive service software company that got hacked.
Well, I was actually going to say this is interesting because it appears that it's coinciding with the release of the episode that began with my diatribe about Fords.
Oh, wow. That's it.
Yes. Well, in any case, so we're under attack, and I'm sure it's not intentional. I'm sure it's not pointed.
Sorry.
But the attacks have been going up lately.
Yeah, we have 15 listeners. It shouldn't be that hard to figure out who it is.
Yeah.
We're coming for you, whoever you are.
Yes. And our listeners, whoever you are, please tell 2 friends. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, we actually have more than 15. It's more on the lines of 100.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Holy
it depends
crap.
on who you ask. There's
1,000?
one
Did I
metric.
hear you say 100,000? Yes.
One metric
Yes.
that says we've actually got 200 listens, but only 100 of them bothered downloading the episode, which means that the other 100 are going to the website to get it.
Well, I don't. I mean, I listen because I always, I listen because I'm like, what did I say in that episode?
Yeah.
I don't know. And but I don't download the episode because
Also, you count as one listener, but you have 7 personalities. So I think that's
I think you're vastly underestimating.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks to our listeners again. Be safe out there. Don't get road ragey like Misty unless you can speak Dutch. We'll see you with another episode as quickly as possible. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you for listening. This has been The Thing About Cars. We'll see you on the road.